Come on, man. Teach us how to kill something.
Next,
Better.
on a special episode of Survival Science.
That's what you want. It's idiot-proof.
There's no way to fail with this.
Laura.
Yeah.
Nick and Laura are deep in the wilderness. At survival school, they'll master critical strategies every outdoorsman should know.
Yes! Fire-breathing dragon!
Whether you're lost, injured, starving, or worse,
They'll give you the beaver fever if you're not careful.
this training can mean the difference between life
Seriously, it's like phenomenal.
and death.
That's amazing.
Ah, I'm stuck. Hey everybody, welcome back to Survival Science. You know, Nick and I are all about breaking down life and death situations when it comes to spending time in the backcountry, and today we're pulling out all the stops.
That's right. We're going into survival mode. And we're gonna see what happens when you get lost in the wilderness and what you can do to survive.
So we're up here in the mountains at the Survival Training School of California, and we're going out into the wilderness with nothing, not even your mascara.
I'll leave it at home. But we will have an instructor. And he's gonna teach us how to do things like purify water, find food, build a shelter, and maybe a little orienteering. So if we do get caught in the wilderness, we'll know exactly how to survive.
You don't think we're going to have to eat any bugs today, do you?
I hope so.
Of course you would say that. Let's go.
Thomas Coyne of the Survival Training School of California trains everyone from civilian outdoorsmen to elite military units. He's going to get Nick and Laura up to speed on his unique survival techniques.
Thomas, you're gonna kind of walk us through survival training, teach us what to do, how to survive. What are some of the things that we're gonna do in your course?
Well, right now we're going to get you ready for the most common survival situation, because that's what you're most likely to face in the outdoors. The most common killer in the outdoors is exposure.
Each year, over 1,300 people die from exposure in the wilderness. The colder it gets, the harder it becomes for the body to maintain a consistent internal temperature. Lessons Nick and Laura learned the hard way.
Oh my gosh!
So first things first, in cold weather and high altitude like this, is we're going to need to create a microclimate. And a great way to do that is with a shelter.
Building a simple shelter that protects you from the elements is the first step of survival training.
Let's get building.
Awesome.
With that, Thomas demos the basics of building a life-saving shelter.
About hip high.
Hip height, Laura.
Hip height?
Her height
No,
or
you
mine?
take this. Thank you for having that.
My
ready.
height. Snuggle
Well,
in.
the thing is, it's built to the person making it, so it's sized for you.
The basic tripod frame provides a sturdy foundation. Walls sloping 45 degrees make the structure more stable in windy conditions. A few large sticks are leaned against the tripod for additional support. Medium-sized sticks are woven in between. Pine needles are gathered from the forest floor and piled onto the frame until there is no light leaking to the inside. They keep the heat in and cold out. A final layer of sticks holds the pine needle insulation in place. In just 30 minutes, it's almost complete. The last touch is a row of rocks to reflect heat from the campfire back towards the shelter.
Lift with the back, not with the legs, right?
Right.
I'm bringing over baby rocks, but they'll go somewhere.
We're not here to judge.
Thank you.
Teamwork makes the dream work, my friends.
With the rocks in place, the shelter is ready. Doesn't look like much, but on closer examination, it could mean the difference between life and death in the biting cold.
All right, so now that you have the system down and you see how to do it, let's see how you do without a survival instructor. We're gonna give you about 30 minutes, because in an emergency, time is not a luxury you're likely to have. So let's see who can make the better tripod shelter of the two.
Wait. So you just said teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, you're gonna team up with Mother Earth here and the nature.
So it's you against me.
Yeah, and there's no pink out here, so get to
What?
work. Yeah, I like this right around in here. It's got a little bit of cover up above, right?
Yep. I think it looks good.
So why don't you put yours kind of over there on that nice little flat spot, and I'll get kind of on this little spot here.
I like your zoning rules.
Yeah.
All right, let the
Let's do
games
it.
begin.
All right.
The competition starts with a quintessential outdoor activity, gathering wood.
Hey, leave some for the rest of us.
Hey, you snooze, you lose.
Is this stick not gonna work?
I don't know, you
It
took
has
the
to go
lessons.
this way.
Okay, that's feeling pretty good.
They're ready for inspection.
Look at this, the king needs a little ornament right over his door, right?
Well,
You'd be
I'm doing
surprised
some
at how
decorating.
many people choose to decorate their shelter.
Yes.
Well, this is great, guys. It looks like you really stick to the principles I gave you, and that's what counts. They're steeper than 45. They're blocking all the light from the inside, so I know they're gonna stop water. We have some really good reflector walls built up, appropriately spaced, and we stop the wind from blowing our cover off. So this is more than survivable throughout a night of cold.
I've got one last question. As far as decorating, who won the decorating contest here?
I'm a pine cone guy.
Thank you.
It's a little ornamental.
You can have
Go
it.
with the goat, you know what I mean?
I put a doorbell on mine too, just in case we get visitors.
Laura and Nick have aced their first test of survival school. Next up, the quest for fire. Nick and Laura are at Thomas Coyne's Survival Training School, deep in the mountains near Big Bear, California. Their next challenge can be difficult for even the most experienced outdoorsmen, making fire without a lighter or matches.
What we're gonna do now is get a nice straight branch like this, and we're gonna spin it just as fast as we can to a much softer piece. And the friction that occurs there is gonna ignite the dust that it makes as it drills through, and we'll use that to get our fire started.
Nick and Laura will be constructing a bow drill. The design is simple. Tie a string to opposite ends of the bow. Wind the drill stick in the middle of the string. When the drill stick is fixed in place over a piece of wood, the bow can be drawn back and forth. The friction creates heated dust that ignites into an ember.
So we said about a little more than a hand length.
That's right.
So I'm gonna carve a little V in this thing.
Shape one end of the stick into a point. This is secured in a rivet hole of Nick's knife to keep the stick from wobbling as it spins. The other end is flattened and will spin against another piece of wood, the drill plate. Carve a notch in the drill plate to collect the heated dust.
Why is that important again, to have that V?
Once that notch is full, all the heat on the tip of that drill is gonna be trapped in that notch, and that's gonna light that dust.
Now Nick channels his inner caveman.
There you go, very good. A little bit more speed. Now add a little bit more pressure, just a little. Pressure's last,
Some
perfect.
smoke. Good
Maintain
job, Nick.
full stroke, full stroke. Breathe.
The friction drill creates temperatures of over 300 degrees at the tip. Plenty of heat to turn wood dust into an ember.
A little faster. I'm gonna give you a countdown. 10, all you got, man. 9,
Got
8,
this, you got it, Nick.
7, 6, stop. Blow on that gently, blow on that gently. You already got it, you got it.
Nick delicately transfers the heated dust to a bed of wispy kindling. Dried pine needles help stoke the embers into a larger flame.
Yes,
Watch
flame.
your clothes. Look at
Yes.
that, Nick. Yeah!
Yes, use your convection. Don't let it go apart yet. Don't let it fall apart. We're not out of the danger zone yet.
Finally, Nick carefully transfers the kindling to the campfire itself.
Yes. Yes. Yes! Fire-breathing dragon!
Who's got the hot dogs?
Yeah, bring out the marshmallows.
That was almost too easy.
No,
I can't believe.
that's a
Wow,
delicate process.
That's incredible.
Nick Mundt has created fire.
All right, Thomas, well, we've got a good fire, so now what?
All right, well, the next most critical skill after shelter and fire in this cold weather is getting some water.
All right, let's
I'm
do it.
thirsty.
As any experienced outdoorsman knows, water can be plentiful, but if it hasn't been purified, it can be poisonous.
The best way to purify water is to heat it. Then you're sure you've killed everything. We're gonna show you how to boil water in anything that holds water. Maybe you have a Ziploc bag, empty sandwich baggie in your pocket, you got a hole in the ground, whatever.
The first step is to heat up several small rocks in a campfire. Next, Thomas splits the end of a tree branch to fashion a simple pair of tongs. He uses these to retrieve the heated rocks from the flames.
So just like with the bow and drill, we have to be very careful.
Ooh. You can also get a facial. Look at that.
Now, I'm gonna grab another rock so we can increase that temperature.
3 rocks is enough to bring the water to a boil.
How long did the rocks sit in the fire before you moved them into the water?
About half an hour right in the convective current.
And so obviously the bag is tough enough to withstand boiling water.
What's strange is these rocks are, they're getting to very high temperatures, but as long as you put them in the water first, it won't melt the bag. Now, if this rock touches the bag anywhere outside the water, it will instantly melt through the bag.
Next, treacherous waters.
You're gonna be shooting it out of both ends and it won't be good.
All right, so Nick and I are back at home base at survival school, and now we're going to purify some water, some creek water, as a matter of fact, with nothing but some hot rocks, a couple of sticks, and a freezer bag.
Here's what we do. We've heated these rocks on here for a long time so they're good and hot. At sea level, the water needs to boil for a minute. But as you go up every 1,000 meters, you have to go another minute. So since we're up here around 7,000 feet, we're gonna go about 3 minutes, which should be about good, right?
Enough to kill all that bacteria.
Yes.
Delicious.
Nick wields the makeshift tongs like a pro.
I eat a lot of sushi, so I should be pretty good at this. Come on, come on. Oh, yeah.
You got it. All right.
Okay.
Watch this. That is very
Now
hot.
we
I'm gonna
bring
go out of
this
the
over
way.
here.
Careful. Listen to that sizzle. Perfect.
Let's get another.
A few more rocks bring the water to a rolling boil.
So the most important thing is to get your water and make sure that you boil it for a proper amount of time, because those little protozoas are pretty tough little critters and they can live right through that.
They'll give you the beaver fever if you're not careful.
And if you get that, you're gonna be shooting it out of both ends and it won't be good.
The water may not look appetizing, but it's clean and ready to drink or use for cooking. In fact, Thomas has an old trail recipe that'll make good use of this batch.
So what we've got here is our water that we boiled in the baggie here, and we're just adding flour to it. So now we're just gonna mix this up and make a nice little patty out of it, right? And slow cook it right on the coals.
We're gonna slow cook it. You know what these are called, Nick, don't you?
What?
Ash cakes. No, I said ash cakes.
Oh, okay.
White ash on the campfire coals prevents burning and cooks the cakes evenly. In just a few minutes, they're ready to eat.
Prepare to be amazed.
Prepare.
Be amazed. That's good.
That's amazinger than heck.
Yeah. You don't have to fake it, do you? That's
No.
legit tasty, isn't it?
Wow.
It's cheating a bit, but ash cakes are great with honey.
Seriously, it's like phenomenal.
Well, what if you need something a little meatier?
Oh my God, we're like lost in
Starving.
the wilderness. We need food. Come to our rescue. Come on, man. Teach us how to kill something.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the most simple, effective small game trap, which is the easiest to get out here in an emergency. And all you need is a couple sticks and a piece of string. Use your bootlace, a strip of bark off the willow tree, a strong blade of grass, what have you, okay?
Okay.
Thomas starts with a heavy rock, then trims 2 sticks and joins them together in a sort of lever. A string is attached and tied to a small stick that acts as the trap's release lever. Thomas shows the precarious process of setting the trap.
Go ahead, release. I have to feel the balance point, so it has to be holding it. So now you'll see it's like a lever, see that?
Sure.
So now I wrap this stick around, see how it teed off, but I went under my string. I've seen a lot of manuals that'll show this over the string and it can catch. Now here, I would recommend if you're doing this at home to have a safety rock, because if this falls on my fingers, that sucks.
Thomas carefully places a small stick to brace the latch and act as the spring for the trap. A piece of plastic is the bait.
Now, which one of you guys said that stick won't hold?
Look at that.
Isn't that great? That's physics at work,
awesome.
double fist bump.
The trap is ready. Laura will do the honors and spare the life of some hapless Southern California squirrel.
Here come 2 squirrels that are going after the bait at the same time. One for Nick, one for me. Ready?
That's amazing.
Oh, I'm stuck.
Oh! Oh!
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Dinner
see
is
that?
served.
Coming up, medical miracles.
Did it.
A survival emergency in the wilderness often begins with an injury. A broken bone is incredibly painful, and if you're stuck in the woods, there's no choice but to grit your teeth and bear it, right? Not so fast. For those in the know, the backcountry even has your pain relief needs covered.
So here we have the willow tree. Now what's great about the willow, it just has so many wonderful uses. It's easily identifiable. Now I want you to take a small strip of that. A serving of this bark would be the size of your pinky, and I want you to chew it. This is for body weight, right? So if it's your pinky, it'll be for your body weight.
How is it?
It's a little bitter.
Bitter.
You know what you're tasting is salicylic acid.
That is really bitter. Are you kidding? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You're tasting salicylic acid, which is the chemical compound we make asprin from.
Thomas just poisoned us.
Oh, okay.
If I don't give you the antidote, you're dead.
Yeah.
So
That's
That's very bitter.
yeah, it's just like chewing on an aspirin.
A broken limb can make a hike back to safety all but impossible. Emergency care can be the key to survival.
So one thing you may not be aware of is a little device called the SAM splint, which is just a little portable flexible splint.
A SAM splint and a bandage are essential survival kit items. Add a fleece jacket, and you have an effective improvised splint.
Yeah, nice and
And
comfy.
there you go.
How's it feeling?
Really comfortable.
You gonna be okay?
I think I'm gonna be all right.
Okay, good.
Now, Nick learns to splint his own leg.
So let's say I broke my tib fib down here below my knee, right? So I'm gonna wrap this thing up, but I'm gonna keep kind of clumping in here so that
Fills the void by the knee.
Right.
Yeah, it's important to pad splints, not just for patient comfort, which is important,
right.
but to make sure that the pressure from the splint is evenly applied along the leg for good support.
He uses the fleece as padding and a self-adhesive bandage to wrap it all together. This makeshift splint is enough to get Nick up on his feet. And if he's on his feet, he can start making his way to safety.
We've got our arm splint, we've got our leg splint, but now how are we gonna get out of here?
We'll go over some improvised navigation.
All right.
Navigation is good.
Losing your sense of direction in the backcountry can be a fatal mistake. Thomas has perfected techniques to find the cardinal directions even without a compass.
Okay, so now we're gonna cover a really quick and simple way to get unlost. Well, there's plenty of ways to do it with the stars, but during the daytime, we're gonna use a stick and shadow method.
It's a simple idea. Find east and west by tracing the movement of a shadow as the sun moves across the sky. All you need is a stick and a couple of rocks.
We're gonna mark the tip of the shadow of that stick. Okay, and now we'll just have to wait a few minutes, and when the shadow moves, you'll put another mark, and you draw a line between those two marks, and you'll have your east and west.
As the sun traverses the sky, the shadow moves along the east-west axis. Once you know east-west, you know north-south.
So this is a really good way to find the direction. You get out into the wilderness, you need to know that south is the town, north is the road, east
Exactly.
is the river.
Just pick an escape azimuth, and
Yeah.
as soon as you step on that trail,
Right.
you know that escape azimuth, and you only have to remember one direction. And you don't have to know which way it is, just know, okay, it's west, no, it's east. And now if you lose your sense of direction, you can find it again with this. And if you can't find a stick in the woods, I can't help you.
That's right.
Now, one last tip. The essential items for your survival kit. A water purifier, first aid supplies, a multi-tool, an emergency light, and storm-proof matches.
There's no way to put this out once it gets going, okay? And that's what you want, it's idiot-proof, right?
Yep.
There's no way to fail with
Perfect,
this.
Laura.
Now we
Easy,
combine
Nick.
that.
Keep these in your pack, and you'll be ready for anything.
How do you think Nick and I did today in school? What grade would you give us?
I gotta give you an A. And you know why? You guys dominated the bow drill and the shelters.
Sweet. Well, I think it's safe to say we learned a lot here at Survival School. We learned how to make a fire with no tools. Yes! Build a really cool shelter. The king needs a little ornament right over his door, right?
We also had a chance to purify water and taste some delicious ash cakes. No, I said ash cakes.
Oh, okay. So when you go out into the wilderness, make sure you pack your survival kit, because you just never know when you're gonna get stranded.
Always be prepared,
Right.
number one thing. Well, that wraps it up for this episode, so join us next time as we put nature to the test.
On Survival Science.
Nighty-night, Nick.
Good night, Laura. Hope you don't snore.
If I do, just put some pine cones in your ears. You'll be fine.
Action!
Next, on Survival Science, Nick Mundt and Laura Schara take on one of the most powerful land animals to ever walk the planet, the mighty grizzly. Using sophisticated technology and bone-jarring tests,
Back off!
they reveal just how powerful these animals are. Then, they explore a remarkable survival story that pits one man and his bow against one of these savage killers.
Welcome to Survival Science. Today we're going to get down and ugly with one of America's toughest predators.
That's right. Today's episode is all about bears, specifically grizzly bears, and the strength, power, and speed of these enormous animals.
They're considered one of North America's most dangerous predators, and for hunters and fishermen, though a slight risk, it is still a dangerous one.
That's right. Since the turn of the century, there's been 23 deaths attributed to grizzly or brown bear attacks, which raises the question, what makes grizzly bears so dangerous?
And today we're going to put that to the test.
We're going to see just what the speed and power of a grizzly bear does to the human body.
You ready for that?
No, yes.
Well, let's get going.
Grizzly bears are among the strongest land animals on the planet. A full-grown male can weigh up to 800 pounds and stand as tall as 8 feet. Bears kill by tackling their prey and pounding them with their powerful forearms, razor-sharp claws, and crushing jaws. In a typical grizzly, muscles account for more than 60% of the animal's mass. That's similar to the mass ratio of a bodybuilder.
To mimic that kind of strength, we brought in stunt coordinator Brandon and his team to rig up a pneumatic ratchet.
And of course, everybody knows that pneumatic means it's run off of compressed air, right?
Of course we know.
Yeah.
A pneumatic air ratchet uses pressurized gas to pull steel cables
Coming at you.
and create a powerful catapult. The explosive system must be carefully tested before it's hooked up to a human being.
Yep, all good. Go.
We've conferred with the team and we've got a figure of 2,200 pounds per square inch of force of the bear coming in and hitting a human being.
Test data will be collected by a device called a slam stick attached to our human subject.
Don't do it. I don't think you should do it.
Hey, I do all my own stunts.
Climbing a tree stand is not stunt work.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
No,
Nick, what you got
it's
there?
We don't
getting
know.
ready
A straight jacket?
Getting ready for the stunt, boys.
Yeah, so that's on backwards.
It's her fault.
Might want to take that off.
All right.
Look, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I think we're going to let Solomon take the ratchet
Yes.
on this one. I do have something planned for you, though.
Okay.
For this test, the air ratchet will simulate a direct hit by a charging grizzly. We've assumed the bear weighs 500 pounds and is running at 30 miles per hour.
How is Solomon going to survive this?
That's why it's stuck there.
Tensioning up.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
Excellent. We are clear.
On go. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Oh!
It's all good? All right.
Man, that was awesome.
How did that feel?
Good, super good.
Nice job.
So any pain? Any pain?
No, no pain.
You feel like you could survive that if that was a grizzly bear?
I don't know. Anything that could hit me that hard to cause me to fly back that fast,
You'd have some kind of broken ribs, bones, something.
I imagine,
In
yeah.
there.
You're not getting up after that.
At impact, Solomon experiences nearly 6 Gs. That's equivalent to going from a dead stop to 100 miles per hour in less than a second.
Go.
And about twice what a space shuttle astronaut experiences at launch.
Well, better you than me, man. So,
Wait a minute, isn't
good
it your
job.
turn?
Yeah, we're not out of this yet.
Oh, I thought you guys were cutting me off.
Oh, we
getting
got a
started.
special one
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll do it.
All right, Nick, as promised, we got the stunt for you.
Oh yes, that's a nervous laugh.
Yeah, it is, it is.
So we saw what Solomon did. Biggest difference is that you're gonna be hand pulled. So it's gonna be two people behind you on the line that are gonna be pulling you out as opposed to the pneumatic ratchet, which we had before.
Right.
That said, this is still gonna be quite a pull. This is
Right.
something we use for film and television all the time.
This test will simulate a swat by a grizzly's forearm, the strongest front limb of any animal in the world.
So what I'd like to try with you is to add a little bit more performance to it.
Okay.
So you're gonna get hit by a bear.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Obviously, in bear acting, I have full confidence that you're
I've
gonna
got
nail
it,
that.
I've got it.
But
Yeah,
with
I'll bring out the
regards-
claws.
Yes, bring out the claws. You can start, bear acting if you feel comfortable bear acting already. That's beautiful. I'm gonna give an action. On the action, you look scared. You look terrifying. And we're gonna walk back and do the attack.
Okay.
All right, Bear, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Nick, are you scared? Yeah. Guys, you set? Let's do this. And action.
Nick Mundt is about to feel the power of a grizzly bear's forearm, thanks to some aggressive behavior from Laura Schara.
Guys, you set? Let's do this. Ready? And action. And cut. Good job, guys. Good job.
Yay!
Excellent bear action.
Yeah!
All right.
Excellent terrified action. Good pull, boys.
Nick was already in motion when the hand pull added around 500 pounds to his retreat. He flew nearly 10 feet. Nick actually got off easy. One swipe of a grizzly's paw can easily kill a wolf or a mountain lion, and has been known to decapitate an elk.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Scariest bear I've ever encountered.
Hey, easy, easy.
A bear's skull is wrapped with thick cords of muscle, which allow these massive animals to bite down with a force of 1,200 pounds per square inch. To demo this raw power, our team has built hardened steel grizzly jaws, complete with stainless steel teeth.
Laura, we have our bear.
That's right, we have our grizzly bear jaws of terror.
Yeah.
Named Charlie.
That's right.
Let's start crushing things.
All right. We've got this pump here. It's a hydraulic pump. Obviously, it's hooked up to Charlie, our bear.
Yes.
And so what we're going for is 1,200 pounds per square inch of pressure,
Whew,
otherwise
sounds like a
known
lot.
as PSI.
All right.
Safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
Okay. So let's start with the things that bears really love.
They
like
love apples.
Yeah,
Yay,
get in there.
Let's get in here with an apple.
Okay.
All
Be
right,
careful
Charlie.
now. Those teeth are sharp.
Open wide.
Okay, ready?
Hang on.
Here we go.
All right.
1,200 pounds per square inch of pressure. Oh,
Oh, piece
baby!
of cake. Next.
Let's try something a little more rigid.
What is that?
Oh,
It's
that's
a
just-
bug.
It's a weed.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay,
We don't need that anymore. Okay.
applying pressure.
Keep pumping.
Bang!
Oh!
Holy! Okay, pretty
All
gnarly
what's
right
next?
there.
I love it. I love
Okay,
it.
let's go with a
Oh,
2x4. And here we go.
Here we go. You got this, Nick. You got it. You got it. Put some muscle in there.
Where's T-Bone when I need him?
Exactly.
Sounds
Are
like
you
a
calling
baby,
turkeys right now? Is this what you sound like?
baby monkey.
Whoa! Oh my God.
Holy smokes! Steel.
Whew.
Steel is a lot harder. Watch your fingers.
Oh,
Oh,
just
yeah.
barely dented. So
Steel has a little bit more safety when it comes to a big grizzly.
if you're gonna go hunting, wear a steel suit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's easy to do.
All
All right, well, let's get to the real thing.
for the grand finale, this is a big, nice bone.
And it's real bone.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna
Here we
back up.
go.
Oh, Lord. my God. Woo! Oh my God.
Woo! You can smell it.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, that was cool. That blew up pretty heavy.
That's scary.
Yeah, definitely I think the moral of this whole thing is that unless you're made out of steel, if a grizzly bear gets a hold of you, his jaws are so powerful he can rip you limb from limb, break your bones, and inflict some major damage.
All right, well, on that note, we're out of here.
Next,
Run for your life!
Nick Mundt races with death.
So Laura, we've studied the power and strength of the grizzly, and we've seen how far it could throw me in a possible attack. We've also looked at its jaws. But there's another part to this equation.
That's right. So there's a couple other things that make this animal so powerful, including its 4-inch long razor-sharp claws, but also its speed.
That's right. When you look at a grizzly, you think this thing's kind of chubby and lumbering. It's a fuzzy, goofy-looking animal that just doesn't look very fast. But the truth is, grizzly bears have been clocked at over 35 miles an hour. So how do we test that, Laura?
Well, maybe you should just try to race a grizzly.
And you've got a grizzly in your pocket.
No, but I've got one with a speedometer. Like my new ride?
All right, looks good.
Well, guess who's driving?
Me.
No, me.
Okay, and what do I do?
You're running.
Okay.
You ready?
So I actually get to race a grizzly.
Absolutely. Hope
All
it'll
right.
run you over.
I better stretch. Let's go.
A bear can run 50 yards in about 3 seconds. Laura's car will match that speed, so we can see how a human stacks up against a grizzly.
Nick, you ready for this?
Yeah, I see what you're talking about, fangs and teeth.
Are you talking about my gas-powered grizzly or me?
You.
Well, I really don't think you have a fighting chance, so
Yeah?
I'm gonna give you a little head start.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
All right?
All right.
Okay, on your mark, get set, run for your life.
You got it.
Nick started fast, accelerating quickly to over 18 miles per hour. But even with his 1.5-second head start, he was caught by the bear in just 4.5 seconds. Over a short distance, a bear can outrun a racehorse. Nick would have been in the clutches of the grizzly in less than 30 yards.
Well, I think it's safe to say that I'm not gonna try to outrun a grizzly bear.
Yeah, it's not that easy, but I'm a little past my prime, so
Well, you
give me a
know,
break.
I mean, not to throw you under the bus. I mean, the bear, but you're just kind of an average athlete, Nick.
That's why we have a pro athlete here. We've got our friend Reggie Wyatt, and Reggie is a 4-time All-American at USC and former NCAA 400-meter hurdles champion. So Reggie, welcome to Survival Science, and we're gonna put you to the test. Are you ready to race a grizzly bear?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Okay, Reggie, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Run for your life! Green flag! Get him!
Reggie exploded out of the blocks, and Laura's bear car couldn't keep pace. He reached 25 miles per hour within 4 seconds. The car isn't as fast as a real bear, so it took 50 yards to reach 35 miles per hour and finally overtake Reggie.
Well, Reggie, that was close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I don't think people really have an idea of how fast a grizzly bear really is. What'd you think about it?
I got the top speed that I had him, but he got me in the end.
Yeah, they're super fast, and there's just no way the average hunter with all the gear and everything is gonna outrun a grizzly. I mean, even world-class athletes like Reggie and I had a tough time beating the grizzly, so it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, world-class athlete, huh, Nick? Well, I think the takeaway from all this is that you just don't ever want to try to outrun a grizzly bear.
That's right.
Not gonna happen.
No human being is faster than a grizzly, uphill or downhill. and trying to run away will only encourage a bear to chase you. Experts say always be prepared with bear spray. Coming up, Nick and Laura try to perform a miracle.
Since 2000, 23 outdoorsmen have been killed by either grizzlies or brown bears. Now, there's a greater chance that you might be struck by lightning. However, they do still pose a dangerous threat in the backcountry.
One crazy story happened in 2008 in Wyoming's backcountry. 2 hunters were in the woods. They were attacked by a grizzly bear, and it is an amazing story.
Ron Lemming and his son, Ron Jr., were bow hunting for elk in northwestern Wyoming. Ron Jr. was on top of a hill calling elk, while Ron Sr. positioned himself at the bottom, hoping to get a shot as an elk was lured in. Then, suddenly, a grizzly appeared behind Ron Jr.
His ears went flat and he came straight at me at full speed.
When I saw that bear behind him, the very first thing that I thought of, just for a split second, I was holding him when he was a little tiny baby. And then my next thought was that bear's gonna maul my son. I just thought I have to do something, and shoot the bear with the bow was the only thing I could think of.
I saw my dad draw his bow back. I heard his bow go off and I seen a flash of an arrow go right by my leg.
It appeared the arrow had completely missed the target. Ron Jr. was soon run down by the speeding bear and mauled.
The bear pinned me down.
Ron Sr. rushed in, and the grizzly turned away from Ron Jr. They thought the bear was about to attack a new target.
And then about that time, he turned around and just walked right down the hill and fell over. The bear wasn't moving. We figured he was dead.
Incredibly, the arrow had pierced the grizzly's heart, and the blood covering Ron Jr. actually belonged to the dying bear.
This story is so amazing that we decided it deserved its own test just to see how good of an archer Ron Sr. really was.
That's right, and we've got our bear rig here and our friend Chris from Riverside Archery. He's hooked us up with this bear target and the zip line. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back this bear up the hill, and we're gonna try to replicate the exact shot that Ron Sr. made on this bear. This thing's gonna be going between 20 and 30 miles an hour. I'm gonna try to make the lethal shot at about 20 to 30 feet. So we'll see what happens.
This thing's heavy.
I know, keep pulling, Chris.
It's my first day.
During our first tests, we clocked the bear at about 30 miles per hour.
Make sure everything's good. Twist
Twist that on
Make
straight.
sure his head's screwed on straight.
All right, so as he comes down the hill, I'm just gonna try to slip a shot right in the angle Ron Sr. shot the bear at. Anywhere in this area here, or even right underneath the chin to get right up in the front. That's where the heart sits. It's right in between the front legs. It kind of sits right down on the bottom of the brisket.
So you ready, Nick?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, well, good luck.
You gotta get up there. You gotta help release the bear. That's part of the science of it. You gotta be up
That
there.
makes a lot of sense, so then I can stand there while you shoot my direction.
After I kill the bear, you won't have to worry about it.
This
go.
is making
Come
no
on.
sense.
You'll
So
be
you
fine.
have to promise me you're not gonna shoot this bear
I won't
until
shoot you.
it's like 10 feet in front of you.
I promise I'll shoot the bear and not you. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I'll remember this.
All right.
The bear has to pass this bush before you release that arrow.
Okay, run to the right. You're right. You're left. My right. That
Yeah,
way.
you're like, run this way, Laura.
Okay.
You don't understand how hard I'm gonna push this bear down the hill right now?
I can't hear you.
Give me some right there, dude. Good shot, man.
Nice work.
Right in the heart.
Right
in the heart.
Well,
I'm
this is
pretty
a tough
proud.
shot.
Yeah.
It is a tough shot. The thing's moving fast. You got the head covering most of the vitals, so I just kind of had to wait for that perfect moment and slip it in there. Obviously, I got him a little bit in the cheek, but I think that would have been hair on a real bear. And to duplicate that shot, you know, I don't have even anywhere near the variables that he had. You know, he's got his boy running in front of the bear.
A live
He's
bear.
got all the adrenaline pumping. He had to draw the bow, make the shot, you know, and to do that on this is a little different because I'm not in any danger. I can jump out of the way at any moment. He had to make the shot, and he did make the shot.
I think we can call that a miracle for him.
Definitely.
And a good shot for you.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
Well, that about does it for this episode of Survival Science. And Laura, do you have a newfound respect for grizzly bears?
I always knew these animals were amazingly powerful, but to see their strength put into perspective, it's a little shocking. Plus, it was kind of fun to watch you squirm and run.
Yeah, the speed is just amazing. And you could never outrun one of these bears. I guess that's why they always tell you, do not run from a grizzly bear if he's going to attack you. You just can't get away.
You're not going to survive it.
That's right.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode, so join us next time as we put nature to the test on Survival Science. You ready to shoot some more?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Next
Cue the wind!
All right.
on Survival Science, Nick Mundt and Laura Schara
Okay.
face raging storms, hurricane-force winds, torrential rain, bone-chilling blizzards, and even tornadoes. They find out how science and technology can help you survive the worst of nature's fury.
Hey everybody, welcome to Survival Science. On this episode, Laura and I have something extra special planned.
That's right, Nick, to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous about it because we've all heard stories about people who have battled the elements and have lived to tell the story.
That's right, a lot of people get caught in the backcountry when nature unleashes its fury. They get caught in rain, sleet, snow, wind, even freezing temperatures.
So today we're going to do a little science behind what happens to our bodies when they're exposed to extreme elements.
That's right, we're gonna simulate the storms that put people in danger.
So you ready to get wet?
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm talking soaked.
No.
Okay, let's go.
The stories are all too common. Outdoorsmen caught unprepared for sudden and extreme changes in weather. Nick and Laura have enlisted our Hollywood special effects team to help us create our own killer storms.
What we have here is our super-powered wind machine, and this thing is driven by everybody's favorite, the Chevy 350, fuel injected, of course. And it runs right to this big old fan, right?
That's right, it's basically a tornado in a can, and this fan has a 7-foot wingspan and can blow wind up to 100 miles an hour.
And on the front, we've got water hooked up to it, so when the fan turns on, it's basically like a hurricane. It blows water sideways, and it'll just blow your skin off.
Can't wait to see you stand in front of it.
I know. Well, let's get this thing fired up, and let's get to some tests, shall we?
For our first test, we'll be measuring wind chill. Nick will be the guinea pig, facing off against the monster wind machine.
All right, well, Nick is wearing a thermometer that's going to show us what happens to his body temperature as the wind speed increases. Now, we're going to start it out with a mild gusty wind, and then we're going to crank it up to hurricane level speed.
Human performance expert David Sandler will help us gather the data. He's come armed with an amazing FLIR thermal camera that will clearly show changes in Nick's body temperature as wind chill kicks in.
And right now, Nick, it kind of looks like it's a little cool around your heart. Is there a reason for that?
Hey, cold heart, warm hands, you know?
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Crank it.
The wind machine is working to perfection. The fan is kicking out over 100-mile-per-hour winds at the source. Down in the gully where Nick is standing, the wind speed is at level 1 hurricane force, about 75 miles per hour. As Nick's skin temperature drops, he's turning from orange to yellow. His exposed skin is an icy white. After just 1 minute in the windstorm, the readings are dramatic.
How did that feel?
Yeah, that's some power.
Hair
Major,
looks amazing right now. It looks
major
amazing.
power.
Wow.
That was something else.
Your hair is something else right now, I gotta tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know what it does to my body temperature, but it sure messes up the comb over.
How'd it feel?
You can tell right off the bat, it just goes right through your clothes, and you can definitely feel the temperature drop, so.
As that temperature keeps dropping, then your body starts hugging all of its heat into the center, right? So that the heart stays hot, the brain stays hot, but the rest of your periphery starts to get colder and colder.
During the test, Nick's heart rate jumped 65%, while his breathing rate tripled. And incredibly, the wind chill dropped his skin temperature 24% in just 1 minute.
Well, you ready to try it?
I guess
I want to
I'm
get
ready.
you in front of it now.
All right,
My glasses?
Thank
do it.
During Laura's test, we'll be looking at the energy expended, trying to brace against the force of the wind.
Well, I'm gonna prepare my hair, so I'm gonna braid mine. This is not my first wind rodeo.
There you go.
All right.
Here we go, and cue the wind.
The hurricane winds are slamming Laura with about 3 Gs of force. She's expending energy rapidly, just trying to stay upright against the storm.
Woo! Okay, well.
Wow. Looks like you
That
were
was
working.
something else.
Yeah, looks like you were working pretty hard.
I was working hard. Plus, I have a nice grit in my teeth now.
It takes a lot out of you to do that.
I was
just-
really having to like lean into it.
Counteracting the force of the wind has to obviously produce force to do that, which is your muscles going to work, which increases your heart rate, your breathing rate, and of course your calorie expenditure. It's like going through a workout, and that's just to hold yourself into position.
Right.
So if you had to do anything else, get back to safety or whatever, you have that extra amount of work on top of whatever the task is ahead of you.
Wow, I need to go warm up after that.
Wow, nice job.
Up next, Laura and Nick go head-on into the teeth of the storm. Nick and Laura have battled against hurricane-force winds of about 75 miles per hour. But that was down in the gully. Now, we've put them directly in front of the 100-mile-per-hour monster.
All right, are you guys ready?
Within seconds, they realize it's almost impossible to even stand up against these kinds of winds. The wind pressure slamming against them is exceeding 4.5 Gs.
Ready? 100 miles an hour, you can't argue with that.
Wind and cold can very quickly lead to hypothermia. That's when the body's core temperature drops below 95 degrees.
What people need to know is when you start to become hypothermic, it's really hard to reverse the effects of hypothermia. I mean, there's just not much you can do, right?
Well, the wind, not only does it chill the body, but it also makes you work harder.
So now we've seen what wind does as far as, dropping the temperature.
Right.
What happens when you add the element of water?
Well, water will decrease your body temperature 25 times faster, and so that itself becomes a major problem. Now, when it's raining, you may not have that quickly of a drop, but you've got the water accumulating on your skin, and the wind starts to cause like ice onto your skin, and that's the fastest way to frostbite.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
you ready to make it rain and get some frostbite?
Yeah, let's try it. I'm ready to go. Is your face okay? It looks like it hurts.
Well, yours is killing me, so let's just get out of here.
Let's do it.
Every year, there are nearly 1,300 deaths related to hypothermia and exposure. To add rain to the equation, we've brought in a 4,000-gallon water tanker used for Hollywood rain scenes as well as fighting wildfires.
But this thing really pumps out a lot of water.
Is this good here?
I think this is good. Everybody ready? Let her rip.
Oh boy. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Get a little wet.
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
So we can adjust this here. Oh yeah, you're gonna get wet, girl. Woo! All right, well, it looks like it works to me.
Okay, well, just think of what this is gonna be like when we add the wind to it.
Wind and rain, it's not
Nothing
good.
better.
Yeah.
All right, well, we saw where the most of our rain's going to come from, that massive truck over there, but we also need a little bit of driving rain.
That's right. This is a pump that's gonna run us, probably about 15 gallons per minute.
All right.
So in addition to our wildland fire truck, which is gonna soak everything, we've got this water running up into this machine, and that's gonna give us the force we need for the driving rain, Laura.
Well, I'm happy I brought my rain gear.
Seriously? We're
Yeah, I brought my rain gear.
We're not supposed to have rain gear.
Well, who
This is a
goes
show
into the
about
outdoors
hypothermia.
without rain gear?
Well, this is a show about hypothermia.
Well, I came prepared.
Well, I think we're ready to conduct a wind and rain experiment on you guys.
Sweet.
Awesome, I'm ready. I've got my rain gear on. It's waterproof.
Yeah, she's gonna do this one because she forgot to tell me to bring the rain gear, so.
Oh, no. This is gonna work great with both of you doing it because that way we can contrast the difference. One wearing proper protective gear and one in normal clothes.
Good
I'm
friend.
gonna get out of here so
Good
I keep
friend.
dry
You're
and
gonna
I
do great.
can watch
You're
what's
gonna do
going
great.
Yeah, how come
No,
I
I'm
gotta
just
be
gonna-
cold and wet?
I'm just gonna bundle up to make sure my hair stays dry.
I'll be over here.
Okay.
on. All right, we'll see how
Take
these
your
guys
time.
do. All right, are you guys ready?
Yes!
No!
Yes!
All right, cue the storm.
You should always remember your rain gear! Oh my gosh, that is freezing.
You're such a good friend, Laura.
Yeah, well, you know what, Nick? This is why you remember your rain gear when you go into the outdoors.
Nice job, guys. You guys are wet.
Yeah.
Yes,
How do you feel?
frozen.
Frozen, wet.
And that was like 30 seconds. It felt like 10 minutes in the rain, but that was a short time, I'm guessing.
So one of the big things I notice is Nick is shaking like crazy, right? He's soaking wet, and you seem a little more
chilly.
Yeah, chilly. Exactly. So you got a little bit wet, a little bit of wind, but nothing like what happened to Nick.
She's having fun and I'm miserable.
Yeah, and she could
I was
probably.
laughing the whole time, actually, even though it was not funny. I was laughing.
But you could see how fast someone will start to deteriorate if
Oh.
they don't have protective gear on.
Within seconds.
Exactly, within seconds, literally. So the protective gear buys a little bit more time.
All right.
Lucky you.
Yeah. You know what? There is a lot of water in my sleeve. There's no doubt. It's all the way up
You
here.
poor thing.
I
Your
know. You
elbows are
should.
wet.
You should feel sorry for me.
I know.
You guys want to go maybe let him warm up?
Yeah. Let's look at
We're getting wrung out a little.
Next up,
This one's gonna hurt, Nick.
the deep freeze.
Well, so far we've seen how wind and rain can have a deadly effect on the body.
That's right, and one thing we haven't studied is the cold, and I mean extreme cold. Our friends here at North Hollywood Ice, they're in the cold business.
That they are. They have a huge refrigerated warehouse space where they keep everything way below freezing.
So we brought our wind and rain machine, and we're gonna take it inside and make the cold even colder.
That's perfect. I brought my cold weather gear.
Seriously?
Yeah, you don't have yours?
No? You're killing me.
Follow me.
So we're here in this giant freezer warehouse at North Hollywood Ice.
It's not too bad in here.
Yeah, not too bad. I think it's about 14 degrees, right?
Let's have David in.
13 degrees.
13 degrees. Well, as you can see, I'm in normal clothes.
I'm in warm clothes.
It's definitely getting cold.
I'm feeling great.
Tell us about the data. What are you seeing there?
Well, what I'm seeing right now is Laura looks really comfortable. Her heart rate, her breathing, just normal.
Right?
Your heart rate has already accelerated a little bit, about 10 beats. You're breathing a little faster. So now we're gonna introduce another element. We're gonna introduce some wind into this to see how your bodies react.
I say blast us.
Okay.
Do
All
it.
right,
Rip it.
get ready.
This is gonna hurt, Nick. For real.
Holy! That is cool.
This is. How many seconds do you need to get the reading?
Well, it takes a little bit.
Holy!
We want to watch Nick get a little colder.
Ah, it's so cold.
Your head is warm, believe it or not.
Oh, my cheeks.
What's it saying?
I'm saying you guys are getting cold quick.
This
Oh
is
my
so
gosh.
bad. This is really
Laura's
bad.
doing much better than you are, though.
This is really bad. Okay. My cheeks really feel frozen.
Okay.
Why do I always laugh when we go through these horrible experiments?
That is freezing cold.
It's so cold.
That wind really makes it go a lot colder. It almost literally gives me vertigo. Like I get almost dizzy because of the cold blast on my head.
Without the protection, you know, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, you're really toast.
Yep.
Well, I have something for you, Nick.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you didn't bring your outdoor winter gear with you,
Right.
but you might need a Kleenex for your
Thank you.
nose. Kind of looks like it was used, but that's all right.
Now, to make things more brutal, Laura adds water.
Don't worry, it's fresh new lawn fertilizer.
All right, following you.
Nick, this is gonna hurt. Whew. Are you feeling it yet? You
I can
feeling
already tell that's going to be colder.
it? Yes.
My legs are already
Frozen?
Oh yeah.
Your jeans a little stiff?
Yeah, they're
Well,
going to be. I can already feel it. We don't even have the fan on
I
yet.
know. Wait till this fan starts going.
Sure,
All right.
you can do this.
Let's do
All
it.
right, blast us.
All
Get it
right.
over with.
Hang on.
Oh, Lord. Brutal.
Holy.
That is brutal. I'm saying it's brutal, and I'm
The
saying you're
hands
dry.
are colder. It was wet. My
They-
thighs are freezing.
You look like you're purple right now, Nick. Woo! How are you hanging in here right now? I'm actually
All right,
You're
that's
done?
good.
Okay,
I'm out.
let's go.
I'm out. Let's go.
Ooh,
Man.
that was cold.
It was cold.
There's
it was
a whole new
cold.
meaning to the word brain freeze.
Well, this was a great contrast of what it's like to be protected and unprotected as we added the elements.
Usually going into a situation like that, I would have long underwear on, I'd have a bunch of different layers, a wind protection, I'd have my neck covered, I'd have my face covered, my ears. I wouldn't have any skin that would be able to, you know, get frostbite on it. But when you feel the wind coming through is one thing, but you know, now that my pants are wet and my sweater was wet, really a lot of danger in there.
Next up,
I'm Maverick, your goose.
inside a twister.
Laura and I have been putting our lives on the line to see what it's like when weather comes in guns a-blazing. So now it's time to have some fun, and we're gonna study the world's worst weather pattern, the tornado.
Which brings us to iFly indoor skydiving here in Hollywood, California.
That's right, behind us is a wind tunnel, and this thing can create wind speeds strong enough to lift a human right off his feet.
About 1,000 tornadoes strike in America every year. They come in all sizes and strengths and are ranked along what's called the Fujita scale, ranging from F0 to F5. Some devastating F5 tornadoes have been recorded with winds over 300 miles per hour.
All right, guys, come on in. Have a seat right here for me.
Flight instructor Afal demonstrates the proper body position in the wind tunnel.
Any questions, comments, concerns, sacrifices?
Yes, what happens if you shoot right to the top?
You're definitely not going to shoot straight up. We have controlled wind power. Good question.
But for
though.
him, because you get the power a little high.
A little bit higher. Just to mess with him, I will.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's time for Nick and Laura to suit up.
Okay.
What happens to your cheeks at 100 miles an hour?
They look very glamorous in the wind as they flap.
Just like a dog with its head out the window.
Yeah.
I'm Maverick, your goose.
All right.
Even though tornadoes are known to lift a 500,000-pound home off its foundation and throw a car over a mile away, It's hard to imagine what it would feel like to step into a tornado.
With this wind tunnel, it'll definitely help us out. They'll be in winds at over 120 miles an hour.
And that speed is actually close to a small F1 tornado, so we're going to see what it feels like to step into the vortex.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the science behind the wind tunnel and how it really works?
Absolutely. So we have two 400 horsepower fans that are circulating wind all around our facility and pushing out into a column of air. Our fans can generate winds up to 170 miles per hour, and that's capable of lifting up to 300 pounds.
That's awesome. I'm ready to get in.
I'm ready too. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, it was amazing. It was like feeling that you didn't have any weight. You were just floating in the air, and it was actually kind of hard to stay stabilized, but the feeling of weightlessness is unbelievable.
The adrenaline rush that you have in just a few minutes of being in the air was unbelievable. It was so much fun.
Well, Laura, I think all these tests have really shown us the power of nature's fury and what can happen if you get caught with your pants down.
That's why it's important to pack the right pants, Nick, and also the right gear if you're spending time in the outdoors.
That's right. Well, that about does it for this episode.
So join us next time as we put nature to the test on Survival Science. You ready to fly?
I'm going again for sure.
Me too.
All right.
I'm first.
Okay.
When things are struck by lightning, they tend to blow up.
On this electrifying episode of
I'm ready to fry some things.
Survival Science, Laura Schara and Nick Mundt explore one of nature's deadliest forces, lightning. Using a high-tech lab, they'll simulate these terrifying bolts to reveal their destructive power and find the best survival strategies. They'll even subject themselves
Seriously, what are we doing?
to millions of volts to discover the truth behind lightning's deadly force.
Welcome to Survival Science. Today we're at a lab that was built for one thing and one thing only.
That's right, Laura. Today we're at DNB Engineering in Anaheim, California. And in this laboratory, they produce sparks. And not just any sparks, but the kind of sparks that run over 2 million volts of juice through something.
Well, that makes it the perfect place to delve into one of nature's deadliest forces, lightning. And can you believe that over 500 people every single year are struck by lightning?
I know, that's crazy.
Well, we want to find out what makes these bolts from the blue so dangerous.
And with DNB's lightning generators, we're going to put the destructive power of lightning to the test and see what we can better do to protect ourselves. Are you ready to juice things up?
I'm ready to fry some stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Lightning is one of nature's most powerful phenomena, striking the Earth more than 1 billion times a year. On average, 50 people are killed by lightning strikes annually, and many of the victims are outdoor enthusiasts.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Brian Broaddus is the president of DNB and sort of the Lightning Lab's mad scientist.
We provide lightning test services to various industries, aircraft industry, power line companies, pretty much anybody and everybody that can be struck by lightning, we end up running lightning tests for them.
Wow, so you're zapping things all day long.
All day long.
I'm ready to fry some things.
I am too. Let's take a look around, show us what you've got here. And
first over here, this is what we call our high voltage generator. It's huge.
Yes, and scary.
It's actually a Marx generator. What we do with this is we generate the high voltage component of a lightning discharge. So if you notice, there's a bunch of different stages in this. Each of the stages are charged to about 70,000 volts, and then we discharge them in series that yields about 2 million volts at the output side.
So do you have any fun in here blowing up things that
We've blown up all kinds of things. Yeah, I think the worst thing was we tried a hot dog one day to see what would happen. We were picking pieces of hot dog off the wall for the next 5 years.
Well, over here I see a little gadget, and it looks like there's a lot of shrapnel around.
Yeah.
So let's go take a look at it and
All
tell
right.
us about this thing.
Sure. Well, this is where we do our high current discharge, where you actually get all the physical damage. The current is really the driving force that provides the damage in a lightning strike. Notice we have a big heavy plywood backing because when things are struck by lightning, they tend to blow up.
Nick, I don't know about you, but I am so excited to strike some things with lightning. So we're gonna send 200,000 amps of electricity through a few things just to see what happens.
Right.
So I brought a couple of props. I have a can of soda here.
Okay.
But I'm gonna need one more thing.
What?
Your cell phone.
All
Hand
right.
it over.
Be
hand
careful,
it over.
high tech, a lot of equipment in there, you know,
Yeah,
a lot
high
of names
tech.
and numbers.
Hello, 2002 is calling.
Hey, I can't help it.
Who's your friend?
This is Terry, and I brought Terry along just to kind of simulate the human body. We can strike it with lightning and see just exactly what's going to happen. You ready?
Yeah, Terry's really excited.
No one can be inside the test chamber when the lightning generators fire, so Nick mans the control room while Laura heads for the observation deck.
Okay, here we go, guys. 3.
When Nick flips the switch and zaps
2.
the soda can with 200,000 amps,
1.
the results are shocking. Lightning travels at over 60 miles per second. So we need a special ultra slow motion camera called the Phantom to capture what actually happens. The explosion you're watching lasted just 4/100ths of a second. What we're seeing is vaporized aluminum. The lightning has superheated parts of the can to over 4,000 degrees. Also, we placed a slam stick on the frame of the lightning generator, and the device registered shock force of an astonishing 197 Gs. Next, we're rigging up Nick's cell phone to see what happens when you try charging your phone with a lightning bolt.
All right, you ready, Nick?
Nick's flip phone is a classic.
We're gonna discharge in 3,
He's making a huge sacrifice in the name of science.
1.
Lightning bolts can generate heat of over 50,000 degrees, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The flip phone is no match for that kind of power. In the test chamber, the current was so strong, it basically fried the phone's electronics. In the next test, Laura is going to run those couple 100,000 amps through Nick's friend, Terry. We've attached heat sensors to see if we can get any readings over the surface of the mannequin.
All right, Nick, we're ready to discharge again. In 3, 2,
Sorry, Terry.
1. Fire.
Nick and Laura have been testing the awesome power of lightning.
All right, Nick, we're ready to discharge again.
Now they're going to zap a mannequin with a 200,000 amp lightning bolt.
In 3, 2,
Sorry, Terry.
1. Fire.
They were hoping to gather heat readings from the strike, but when they go to check the data, they discover there isn't any. It seems that when they flipped the switch, the jolt was so intense, they vaporized the sensors. Then a few milliseconds later, the mannequin exploded. The lightning pulverized the hard plastic of Terry's upper body and traveled down his back, giving him a serious burn on his butt. Unfortunately for Terry, his time on Survival Science has come to an electrifying end.
So Brian, can you show us behind the scenes where all this power is coming from? It's got to be hiding somewhere, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, look at this sign.
Yeah, this is where
Do
you always
not
want to be,
enter.
where it says danger.
Yes, this is the deadly part. All of this stuff in here is extremely lethal, so we don't really want to touch anything. We generate the high currents and then we pipe them through the wall out to the outside structure where we were looking before.
What's this contraption going on over here?
Whenever you run a lightning test, there are 3 different components to the lightning waveform. So we time it so that there's a 200,000 amp discharge from this generator, followed by a charge transfer from the other generator, and then the batteries over here.
How many batteries are right here?
There's 100, so we get 1,200 volts, but we're able to dump thousands of amps of current from the batteries.
Takes a lot to get a lightning to strike, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
A lot of power in this room.
Yeah.
Some lightning strikes have been measured at more than 1 billion volts. That's 500,000 times more powerful than an electric chair. Outdoorsmen must constantly be aware of this deadly threat.
One very scary encounter with bolts of electricity where a father and son were fishing on their favorite bass lake back in 2009.
That's right. Gabe and Christian Neal were fishing on Lake Harrisonville when the pair got struck by a bolt of lightning.
June 7th, 2009. Gabe Neal and his son Christian were bass fishing on Harrisonville Lake near Kansas City, Missouri, when an angry storm rolled in. They decided they should call it a day and set the trolling motor for shore. It was a smart move, but unfortunately, as they headed for land, they continued to cast.
Last thing I remember, I was getting ready to cast. And then nothing. I don't know, it was just black.
Christian was knocked unconscious and badly burned, while Gabe was blasted into the water.
Never saw a flash. It's just immediately getting hit with a sledgehammer and being backwards in the water.
Fortunately, both men survived the accident. In the aftermath, they found Christian's graphite fishing rod had literally exploded.
This is the same type of rod that Christian was holding when he was struck.
And so today we're going to take this rod and strike it with lightning to see if we can replicate just what happened.
I'm excited to see what it's going to do.
I think it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem possible that we'll be able to transform the sturdy graphite rod into that ball of fur. Nick is cranking the generator up to full throttle.
Okay, here we go again.
Laura is observing nervously.
3, 2,
oh God,
1.
Whoa. We got something on fire.
We got a fire.
Nick and Laura are at DNB Engineering, testing what happened when a fisherman's graphite rod was struck by lightning.
Okay, here we go again. 3, 2,
oh God,
1.
we got something on fire.
We got a fire.
Something's gone wrong.
Whoa.
That did not look so good. So we're gonna go check it out right now. I'm a little nervous. I don't even know if we should be going in here after we saw what just happened, but we're gonna go check it out anyway. Come on. Whoa, Nick, did you survive that?
What happened? You can't see from back there.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
It's like a pile of fuzz.
Look at, there's fuzz just floating around everywhere. Look at that.
Oh, I'm almost afraid to touch it. Ooh, it stinks.
It does stink. It smells like burnt hair.
Turns out graphite is an excellent conductor of electricity. So, holding a graphite pole is kind of like holding a lightning rod. And if it's struck, the intense heat will immediately vaporize the resins and other plastics used to keep the rod shaped. The result is a giant smoking furball. Scientists well understand the enormous power of lightning. But another aspect of this phenomenon continues to confound scientists and safety experts. It's very difficult to accurately predict the path of a strike. Typically, lightning hits the highest point, but that's not always the case.
A lot of times people say, oh, if you're not the highest object, you're safe. But they've disproved that that is the case. When they redid the Statue of Liberty, they found multiple lightning damage points well down the statue, which is a big metallic statue. You would think that it would attach on the very high point with the torch, but it does not.
True.
Yeah, not at all.
So you're not really safe in any terms when it comes to a lightning bolt.
No.
For our next experiment, we're going to use DNB's giant Marks generator to try to duplicate the path of the bolt that hit Christian and Gabe Neal. We've set up two mannequins in the same position the Neals were in that terrible day. The bolt that struck Christian traveled down through his pole and into his midsection. Somehow, it also arced into Gabe's chest, traveled down his side, fried his cell phone on his waist, and continued down his leg before launching him overboard. Using our ultra slow motion phantom camera, we're going to see if our lightning bolt takes the same path.
All right, Nick. We're gonna discharge in 3, 2, 1.
The enormous voltage scrambles the electronics of our phantom camera, and we think our footage is ruined. But then, with a careful frame-by-frame analysis, we catch some startling images. Each frame is capturing 1/3000th of a second. The bolt travels from the generator's metal sphere to Christian's pole, then arcs directly into his stomach, just like in real life. In our test, it doesn't make the jump to Gabe, but it's a graphic demonstration of lightning's unpredictable power. Next up,
Seriously, what are we doing?
it's Laura and Nick versus 2 million volts.
Probably way up there on the if you're dumb, you do this list.
One of the goals in lightning safety is to control the path of the electricity. But that's not easy. One way to do it is to create what's called a Faraday cage.
A Faraday cage is basically a metallic structure that provides a path for the lightning currents to keep them going where you want them to go and not where you don't want them to go.
Yeah, so when it comes to boating, you basically have a lightning rod on the boat.
Yeah, since it's metallic, it would tend to attract the lightning strike more so than the people in the boat.
What's the best way to keep from getting everybody electrocuted?
There are some commercial structures that they provide to help channel lightning strikes around people.
Is there any tips you'd give fishermen to keep them safe on the water?
If there's a lightning storm, get that boat in and get off the water.
No more one last cast. We hear that all the time.
I'm a hunter, so what's the safest thing to do for somebody if they're in the woods and a big lightning storm comes?
Yeah, the safest place to be is in your car.
In theory, a car acts like a Faraday cage. Lightning hits the metal of the car and then flows around the outside of the vehicle and runs harmlessly into the ground.
Speaking of vehicles, I think we'd like to put you guys in a car and hit it with a couple of million volts and see how you guys survive.
Well, okay.
I'm kind of speechless, actually.
Nick and Laura take their positions. It's going to take around 9 minutes for the Marks generator to build up to 2 million volts. Our brave hosts must sit in the car and wait, and they won't know exactly when the lightning will strike. They'll only hear an alarm 2 seconds before the discharge.
Nick, I cannot believe you convinced me to do this.
It's not that big a deal, seriously. Just quit worrying about it.
2 million volts of lightning. No big deal.
But this whole experiment is to see that in a car during a lightning storm is the best place to be. It's completely safe in here.
All right, well, buckle up because we're going for a ride.
All right, here we go.
Definitely a tense situation.
Seriously, what are we doing? We're gonna come out of here with like no eyebrows.
I like to do things in the name of science. This is just what
2
you do.
million volts. 2 million volts. You know what? I hope I get a T-shirt after this is over.
That's what we should do.
I survived 2 million volts of lightning.
There you go.
The tension builds.
I mean, this is probably way up there on the if you're dumb, you do this list.
Right.
Yeah.
For it. Wait for it.
Oh, jeez!
Oh, wait. That was pretty radical, dude.
That was unbelievable.
That was gnarly.
How did we survive that?
That was gnarly. Holy
Oh
smokes.
my God. We're still, are we alive?
I'm alive.
I mean,
I'm
this
alive.
could be heaven right now. We have no idea.
So it's true. Being inside a car does provide protection from lightning. The Phantom camera captured the evidence. When the 2 million volt arc strikes the car, it travels over the outside of the metal skin and down. Then it leaves the car and flows into the ground, keeping Nick and Laura safe.
Well, we've definitely demonstrated the true power of lightning. This used to be a carbon fiber fishing rod, and after one quick hit, this thing has turned into a
stinky wig.
Big ball of fuzz, yeah.
Our friend Terry got a little chapped. Lightning is no joke. So for all the fishermen out there, if you see a thundercloud, make sure you get off the water.
That's right, and if you're a hunter, get to the lowest spot you can. Get in a ravine or a ditch, or better yet, we've proven, get in the vehicle, because they'll definitely be safer in there.
That's true, but Nick, I forgot one thing.
What?
Forgot to give you your cell phone back.
Oh.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode, so join us next time as Nick and I put our lives on the line for survival science.
Next on Survival Science, Nick Mundt and Laura Schara are on the hunt for a killer, the mountain lion. Using high-tech tools, they reveal the secrets to the mountain lion's stealthy power. From its sheer strength and speed, to its ability to see a world invisible to humans. Then they'll take one for science, to see whether humans even have the speed to react against a killer cat.
Welcome back to Survival Science. You're probably wondering what we're doing here in the concrete jungle.
Yeah, we're at Tempest Free Running Academy, and we're here to study the science behind what I like to call nature's ninja, the mountain lion.
The mountain lion is one of North America's largest predators, and what makes them so lethal is their speed, stealth, but actually their ability to hunt at night.
Yeah, one of the most dangerous predators in America. There's a lot of history between mountain lions attacking humans, and we're gonna find out just what kind of predator we're dealing with.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
And what the heck was that?
I don't know, let's go find out.
Also known as cougars and pumas, mountain lions roam vast swaths of North America, plentiful wherever game is abundant. At 9 feet from the tip of the nose to the end of the tail, an adult male can weigh in at over 160 pounds. A mountain lion's hind limbs are actually longer than their front legs, which allow these nimble cats to jump as high as 15 feet.
So we're going to take a look at one of the special adaptations that make these animals such efficient killers, their eyes. They see the world a lot differently than we do. So how are we going to study that, Laura?
Well, Nick, we're fortunate enough to have some technology here that will allow us to see the world just like they do.
Yeah, here inside of Tempest Free Running Academy, we're going to set up a special obstacle course that simulates the mountain lion's natural habitat. We've got our parkour expert here, Josh. And Josh, what are you going to do to be our mountain lion?
Well, I can't imitate a mountain lion exactly, but I can use the stealthiness, sneaking, the prowling, pouncing, much like I do with the parkour.
Okay. Really show us what you got. You know, the mountain lion's stealthy. He's agile. He can go from tree to tree, from rock to rock.
I think we should pull out some of the technology and start playing with that a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, Nick, as you can see, we have just a little bit of technology here to help us take down our mountain lion because we're gonna play a little game of tactical laser tag.
Sweet, and what we've got is we've got these sensors, and we're gonna put these sensors on our mountain lion. Josh here, infrared, very similar to the TV remote control. You can't see the light or anything, but when you make a hit, you're gonna know it. Josh is gonna bounce around the room, and we're gonna see if we can take him out.
I love it. Well, we have Steve here from Battlefield Live Bakersfield, and Steve, you're gonna tell us what kind of weapon options we have here.
Yes, we have a few different options. We have an M4 and M16. A Commando, a Mini Scorpion, a Scorpion, a Cobra. We have a lot of different models here today.
I want that big one.
You want this one right here?
Yes. M4, look at that.
Oh yeah, baby.
You know what, I'll go Commando.
There you go.
Awesome.
You're in trouble, Josh.
That's right. You better run. This mountain lion's going down. Time to play a little game of hide and seek, my friend.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready or not, here we come.
Go back into the thick of it.
For our first test, we'll try hunting the cat in broad daylight. Mountain lions are largely solitary creatures, with single adults roaming huge areas, stalking and hunting prey at night. With their stealth, speed, and special adaptations, these cats are predatory machines.
Whoa! That was unbelievable.
Inside their large paws are sets of 2-inch retractable and needle-sharp claws designed to latch onto thick skin. Or Laura. Fortunately, our cat doesn't have real mountain lion weapons. These cats sport 3-inch canines perfectly adapted for ripping into flesh and muscle.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Josh has shown that a mountain lion is a formidable predator, even in daylight. But so far, we've left out one of the mountain lion's most dangerous weapons, night vision.
Woo, that was fun.
All right, you got me. Let's turn the tables, though, and put the mountain lion in his environment. Let's turn the lights off, give me night vision. You guys
have nothing.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
Looks
boy.
like you're nice and tired now, so it should be a little easier. All right, I'll get the lights.
Okay.
All right. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, the lights are off, and I think it's the blind leading the blind at the moment, because I can't see a thing.
This is going to definitely simulate kind of a moonlight atmosphere. Cat in the mountains. Make your move, and we're going to try to shoot you, okay?
That's right.
Give us one meow so we can hear where you're at.
There we go.
3, 2, 1.
While Josh can see everything around him with night vision, Nick and Laura can only guess and shoot at random.
Why is he so quiet?
Because he's a cat.
I think he went up into the rocks over there.
See him moving?
I think he's around this corner.
Now, the hunters are becoming the hunted. Nick and Laura are testing the sensitivity of a mountain lion's vision.
I want that big one.
You better run.
Now, they'll hunt in the dark, while Josh wears night vision goggles that allow him to see like a cat.
See him moving?
I think he's around this corner.
In the blackness, Nick and Laura's eyes are playing tricks on them. They imagine Josh is still perched up high, when actually, this mountain lion is flanking them to attack.
You see him there?
Yeah, I can see his head peeking around there, but he's too scared to come out. bad now. I think I need to change my underwear.
I think it's safe to say we had the disadvantage here.
For sure, it's especially equipped eyes, you know, all the stealth. The mountain lion definitely has a major advantage, especially in the dark.
Oh, for sure. We just became dinner real quick. I
Yeah.
couldn't see a thing.
That was really fun. Well, we appreciate your help. You're one heck of a mountain lion.
No kidding. Well, I'm ready for round 3. Are you?
Let's do it. You
All
better
right,
run.
you better run for it,
You better
Josh.
run.
Seeing a mountain lion before it sees you is one thing, but reacting fast enough to protect yourself is quite another. With 3 times more mountain lion attacks than bear attacks each year, it's not a far-fetched possibility.
Well, unfortunately, mountain lions and humans share a lot of the same habitat, so encounters are becoming more and more frequent.
Well, that brings us to our next experiment. We're going to see if you were a hunter and you were attacked by a mountain lion, would your reaction time be fast enough to save yourself?
I don't know if it would even matter.
I'm thinking not, but we're going to try.
Human performance expert David Sandler will help us with this paintball experiment.
So we're going to set up a surprise mountain lion attack so we can test your skills and see if you can take out the animal.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mountain lion.
Well, it'll be a simulated version of it, and we're going to be able to see if you can react in time to save your life.
So how are you going to measure our reaction?
Well, we have accelerometers that we're going to mount on your arm, and that's going to be able to measure your reaction time.
You think you're a quick draw?
I don't know. We'll see. I think this is going to be a lot more difficult than it may seem.
All right, let's go put together our mountain lion.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, guys, so this is our mountain lion. And what it is, it's compressed air. Right now we've got it set at 50 PSI. It can go up to about 120 PSI, but we're at 50 because we don't want to take Laura's face. So, definitely.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. Well, I have the most important thing, our mountain lion.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, Nick, but mountain lions can travel up to 40 miles an hour in 2 bounds.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have the machine set at 50 PSI, when the ball leaves the launcher, it'll be traveling at 40 miles an hour. So this is a very accurate test.
Okay, very good. You get out
I'm
there.
going to shoot this Antiope style.
Yeah, see if you can get it before it gets you.
All right, load her up.
Oh yeah.
Ready to roll.
We're gonna charge the tank.
My gun is off, safety, and ready to fire, my friend.
Are you gonna shoot from the hip or are you gonna try to
I
aim?
think you should just not worry about it.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Are you?
As soon as I shoot this thing, I'm ducking because I know you're gonna hit me. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Laura, here we go.
Sorry. Did I get you?
That was awesome.
Looks like the production crew got a little more than they expected on this shoot. So did Laura.
We got one.
You got one?
We got one.
Yeah. Sweet.
The ball leaves the cannon at 40 miles per hour. A mountain lion achieves this speed in 2 bounds and is traveling 58 feet per second. At this speed, the lion will cover the 85 feet to Laura in 1.5 seconds. It takes 564 milliseconds for her body to react. At 1.1 seconds after the release of the ball, she fires off her first round, followed by 14 more in quick succession. But one shot actually hits the mark.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's bubble gum.
Oh, no, it's not hot shot. That is a paintball paint.
All right,
See what you
all right.
got.
We'll see if I can do it. Good
Your
shot.
turn.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
That was nice.
Now it's Nick's turn to test his reaction time. Keep in mind that in a real mountain lion attack, the cat's location and speed would be a surprise.
All right, Nick, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Nick and Laura are testing their reaction time to a simulated mountain lion attacking at 40 miles per hour.
That is a paintball paint.
All right,
See what you
all
got.
right.
Now it's Nick's turn.
All right, Nick, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you gonna fire from the hip?
Just shoot the thing.
All right.
The simulated mountain lion attack begins with a ball covering the 85 feet to Nick in 1.5 seconds. And if mountain lions bounced, This one might be dead. But technical difficulties call for a do-over to check Nick's reaction time. Time for another try.
All right, Nick, are you ready?
I think so.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Did you get it?
I don't know.
But we did get Nick's reaction time. A speedy 342 milliseconds after the cannon fires, Nick's body starts turning for the shot. But by the time he's lined up, the lion's about 20 feet away, leaving him with a split second to hit the target.
Did you get it?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Would you look at that? Right between the eyes.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna have to come verify this, I'll tell you that right now. All right, I think you turned around too soon. Oh my gosh, you did get it between the eyes. Wait, is that paint or is that just the color of the ball?
No, that's paint. Look.
Oh, all right. It's a great shot.
Cool. Right between the eyes.
Mountain lion's not living.
Yeah, he wouldn't have moved far.
But the fact is that when it's a real mountain lion coming after you, you're not gonna turn around and be able to aim that accurately. I think we would be dinner.
And definitely, once they're on you, it's over. So
it's over.
Pretty fast, pretty powerful, and very quiet.
So quiet that if you were attacked, you probably wouldn't know what hit you. After all, a noisy cat wouldn't catch much prey. Ambush is the name of the game. In recent years, mountain bikers riding trails in lion country have been pursued and attacked as prey.
In fact, since 1990, on average of 5 or more people are attacked by mountain lions every year. And since that time, 10 people were actually killed.
Yeah, one frightening attack happened in 2004 in Orange County, California. A man was attacked and killed by a mountain lion. And on the same day, the same lion attacked a woman.
Aniela and her friend were biking a Southern California trail on January 8, 2004. The beautiful day was about to be shattered by a rogue killer.
I felt a very strong impact. I felt the animal grab a hold of me. It's like getting hit by a vehicle.
Mauled her very bad, and she did live, but the deputy sheriffs had to kill her.
Well, that brings us to our next experiment.
So what kind of kinetic forces are at work when a mountain lion impacts a human?
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is a little experiment. Anne was riding on her bicycle, and she's a pretty avid mountain bike rider, so she was clipping along pretty good.
We were going to do a quick 45-minute loop, get in and out. I came up over a little rise when I caught just a glimpse, this flash of movement. My first thought was that I had just startled a deer.
Out of nowhere, she got hit by this mountain lion, and she said that it was pretty strong. It felt like she got hit by a truck.
I felt a very strong impact. I felt the animal grab a hold of me, and I knew right away, this is no deer.
So we have our stunt guys here, Jeff and Brandon, who are gonna help us rig a science experiment so we can measure the impact of a mountain lion attacking Anne on the bike.
That's right, we got our slam stick. Put it on our trusty stunt man.
That's right. All right, Brandon, what are we doing here today?
Well, Jeff.
Well, Brandon.
I brought a mountain lion for you.
You got a cat.
This here is going to travel down the zip line.
Oh, man.
And we're going to recreate what it was like when Ann got hit. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
That's not gonna hurt.
Wait a minute, you said this was a water gag.
Well, I mean, water on the ground, it's a little wet. It's probably going to rain. So,
Start crying.
You'll do just fine, Ann. You'll do just fine.
All right, well, best of luck, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Oh, God.
All right,
We'll see you at the end.
Good luck, dude.
Thanks.
Laura and Nick have been testing themselves against the stealth, vision, and speed of a mountain lion. Now they're going to test the impact force of a mountain lion attack, similar to the one Aniela survived back in 2004. As our stuntman Jeff heads up the trail, the mountain lion punching bag weighing 100 pounds is hoisted up the zip line 25 feet away. It will reach nearly 20 miles per hour when it hits the impact zone.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Unlike the lion attack on Aniela, at least our stuntman has a softer place to land. But let's look at the measured force of impact. Our rider faces two dangerous impacts. The first is the 100-pound mountain lion slamming him with a force of 24 Gs, enough to break an arm. Then, this combined forward and side momentum throws him to the ground with a force of 18 Gs. On a rocky mountain trail, this by itself could be enough to inflict severe injury, and a real cat could attack at up to 40 miles per hour. To measure that kind of force, it's time to bring back our good friend Kojak. With a dummy and our mountain lion fitted with motion sensors, we can let one rip for survival science. The cat slams our cyclist at 34 miles an hour. 67 Gs of crushing force, enough to cause whiplash, broken ribs, and arms. Then, smashing into the ground, our cyclist would be fortunate just to survive the impact, let alone the claws and jaws of a killer cat. For our last test, we're going to give Nick and Laura the chance to experience cat vision for themselves.
We're gonna do a little experiment. We're gonna try to find a mountain lion with zero night vision helmet.
Somewhere behind us, the producers have hidden a mountain lion. We're gonna try it without our night vision and see if we can see it. I got a great idea. Why don't you go first?
Of course you'd say that. All right, let's go.
No, that's a rock.
In the darkness, using just the naked eye, they walk right past our crouched mountain lion.
Well, I didn't see a thing. Did you?
No, it's dark.
Now we'll see how they do with night vision.
Holy
now we're
smokes,
talking.
yeah.
I can see everything. All right, you ready to play a little game of I Spy?
I'm following you. Let's go.
I Spy mountain lion.
Oh, gee. I mean, if you were a mountain lion and you had eyes like this, you could just about catch whatever you wanted.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Laura, I think we've proven that the speed, agility, strength, stealthiness, and the eyes of a mountain lion make it a pretty efficient killer.
That it is. And if you happen to come across an aggressive mountain lion, a couple things to keep in mind is one, you probably want to act like you're really big and you want to be really loud.
That's right, aggressive and never run, because that predator-prey relationship kicks in. If something flees, they're probably gonna chase it.
That's true. Most importantly, if you see one, just stay still and watch it walk away.
That's right. Join us next time as we put nature to the test
on Survival Science.
Next on Survival Science, Nick and Laura open the throttle on the outdoors' favorite vehicle, the ATV. They'll put their bodies on the line and discover how to safely operate these compact speed demons.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Survival Science, where we put the outdoors, and sometimes ourselves, to the ultimate test.
And today is all about the all-terrain vehicle, and the ATV has been a game changer for outdoorsmen, allowing them access into the wilderness like never before.
It's also made the outdoors a little more dangerous. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, about 440 people a year lose their lives in ATV accidents. That's just kind of crazy to me, Laura.
It is crazy, and in fact, in 2015, over 100,000 people were sent to the emergency room from ATV accidents.
And seeing how important ATVs are to outdoor enthusiasts, hunters, fishermen, we're gonna see just how accidents happen and what we can do to keep from becoming a statistic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines and let's do some science.
Let's do it. All right.
All right. Well, remember, Nick, the mud ain't flying. You're not trying.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be eating mud.
Oh yeah, I doubt that.
250,000 ATVs are sold every year.
Get out of my way!
It's a true all-purpose vehicle, great for racing, ranching, hunting, and fishing. They're agile, powerful, and sometimes dangerous.
Look out, Nick, there's a cliff! Don't panic, don't panic. Nick is totally fine. This was a set-up stunt just to show how dangerous it can be if you're not paying attention. Wait a minute. Nick, you did the stunt, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sure he did.
I knew
No,
it.
it was actually my sexy Hollywood stunt double, Jeff, here. He took the fall for me. I didn't even have to get dirty.
Yeah, Nick didn't want to break a nail, everybody.
Slam sticks in Jeff's suit record an impact force of 114 Gs when his body struck the hill, each blow heavy enough to break bones or cause concussion. As he rolls, he accelerates to 18 miles an hour, as fast as a full-on sprint, straight downhill. His stuntman expertise is the only thing that prevents severe injury.
And cut. Good? Good.
That was great.
Yes.
You did a good
Thanks,
job.
Nick. Good tumble.
Yeah, you know, when you see a stunt like that, it only takes a few seconds on camera. So
Absolutely.
It happens quick and fast and all that. But there's a lot of preparation that goes into a stunt like this.
If I'm on it, sitting down, it's gonna be like right here.
That's how it'll come in and it'll kind of end like this.
Yeah, it'll
oriented this way.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it's gonna tip like that is the idea.
Yeah.
Nick could have done that.
At the top of the hill, camera trickery and clever editing are used to show Jeff being thrown from the ATV.
To Baker, take one. Marker.
After rocking the ATV back and forth, he leaps off, throwing himself down the hill in a very precise way.
And so when I landed back first so that it would rotate me over to my forearms and my knees, and then that way I could control each rotation as I fell. One rotation, I could either open myself up to slow my rotation down or get tighter into a ball, and then I could speed it up.
And let's be honest, if you're an average rider, we're not skilled at opening our body or closing our body if we get into an accident. So
Yeah, and it shows how fast it can happen. I
Yes,
mean, just like
it's
that,
very
you can be
dangerous.
launched off a hill or...
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and I appreciate you taking the fall and getting dirty for me. You did a great job.
Jeff's tumble shows how violent an accident can be, but ATVs are totally safe if riders follow some common sense rules. Nick and Laura call on an expert to get the scoop.
Nick and I have done a lot of ATV riding over our years, but there's always something we can learn when it comes to safety.
We brought in our friend Ty from the ATV Safety Institute, and he's gonna hopefully give us a few pointers on how we can stay safe, right, Laura?
For sure. What would you say are some of the most common mistakes when it comes to ATV riding?
Well, the biggest mistake is not taking advantage of the ATV rider course that we offer, and that's free for anybody who buys a new ATV from one of the major manufacturers. But also what you have with you. It's really important that you wear the right stuff whenever you're on an ATV. A helmet, really a DOT approved helmet, gloves. You want to have good footwear too, over the ankle boots, and your hiking boots are just perfectly fine for that.
So tell us a little bit more about active riding.
Yeah, or being rider active, as we say.
Oh.
And that is really understanding that an ATV requires the rider to move around on the vehicle. You're not just sitting in one place all the time like a sack of potatoes.
Right.
You're actually moving around.
Yeah.
They have seats, they have handlebars, they have foot pegs designed so that you can do this. Because, you know, as you go over various terrain, you have to account for weight shifts. And you have to make sure that your body is actually helping out the ATV.
No slouching on your ATV and riding around.
No slouching.
You need to be in the game, people.
Be rider active.
Next, Nick and Laura push it to the edge.
So with the power and speed of today's ATVs, it makes them pretty easy to flip over. And this is where a lot of accidents and a lot of injuries can occur.
That's right. So for our next experiment, we're going to pull some 35-degree turns going at different speeds to see how easy it is to flip one if you're doing some foolish things.
Yeah.
So you ready to man up and do this stunt, Nick? No.
I'll leave that up to my twin brother, Jeff, here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
All
Laura.
right, good luck, Jeff.
All right.
In this test, Jeff will take a corner going way too fast.
Let's see one way you shouldn't ride your ATV right about now. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Jeff corners at a high rate of speed. Momentum forces the ATV's center of gravity to the outside of the turn. To make matters worse, he leans to the outside of the turn. The ATV nearly rolls, and again, it's only Jeff's stuntman skills that keep the ATV in check.
Oh, goodness.
Hey!
Woo!
Good game.
Yes.
You really showed
Nice
us
work.
how to not do it.
How to really get into an accident quick.
Yeah, so basically, if you saw it coming around, I was on the outside. I was caught off guard.
Yeah.
So my weight was the outside. That's what basically leads into the rollover.
If you were making a left-hand turn, you'd actually be leaning off way to the left and counteracting that weight distribution that you're dealing with, okay? And same opposite if you're making a right-hand turn. And if you're going down a hill, you're gonna be leaning way to the back, okay? So your weight is shifting back toward the upside of the hill. And if you're going up a hill, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stand up and lean forward. Yeah. All simple stuff, all very basic, but this is the kind of thing that you're gonna learn in the ATV rider course.
Going uphill or downhill, even at slow speeds, poses a unique danger to an ATV rider. One Nick and Laura can't resist testing.
Okay, Laura, it's time for the high-speed uphill climb.
We're going to see what degree of incline it takes to create a catastrophe.
That's right, and we want to know what happens to the body when that ATV rolls over and smushes right on top of it.
Woo!
So you know what? It's your time to shine. You're the driver.
Well, sorry to let you know this, Nick, but you can't get rid of me that easily because I found my own driver. Kojak! Look who's back.
You're getting out of it?
Of course I am.
That's baloney. You ready, Kojak?
He's ready to go for a ride.
Yeah,
or a roll.
Let's see him
One
roll.
of the two.
Here we go. So what we've got here is this old four-wheeler, and we've taken a lot of the mechanisms off this and made them remote control. So what we have is linear actuators here. And this one on this side, we've taken the accelerator assembly and we've moved it down underneath. And we've got this inline assembly here, and it basically runs the accelerator through remote control. On this side, we've taken our braking assembly and all the components off of here, and we've moved them right up underneath the front here. And then we've got another linear actuator that actually pushes the brake when we want to brake. And if you look up underneath the front here, attached to the frame, we've got a bar, and then we've actually got two linear actuators under here that'll steer this for us. If this thing gets out of control, all I got to do is hit that red button and it shuts the whole system down. So
what are you trying to say, that Kojak's too much of a dummy to drive himself?
yes, and he needs a high-tech unit to get him through tough times.
Who's going
Cool.
first? You want to tug a war for this?
You can go ahead, ladies first.
Okay.
Nick and Laura warm up a little before putting Kojak's custom ride to the test.
Okay. So we're starting out a little bit slow. We're going on some not so rough terrain, then we're going to take him on a little bit rougher terrain and just see what this thing can do. Oh, you're doing great, Laura.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Your turn.
All right, here we go.
Look at you showing off. Are you taking him to lunch? Where are you going?
Maybe.
Oh! Amazing.
Sorry, Kojak.
Great driving, Nick. Great driving.
That's what we're supposed to do out here.
With their remote driving skills more or less honed, they're ready for some science. The hill awaits. They'll soon see how easy it is to lose control of an ATV on an uphill climb.
All right, Laura, you ready to send our dumb friend?
For a little ride and roll?
Let's squish him.
All right, here
Ready?
we go. I'm going to turn us on.
Let's do a 3, 2, 1 on it. Ready?
All right.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Go.
Here we go. Woo! Oh my gosh, he's going pretty fast. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna make it.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
There we go!
As the ATV climbs the hill, the back wheels dig in. Without an active rider to redistribute the weight, the ATV's center of gravity slowly shifts down the hill until it topples backwards. Slam sticks on Kojak record impact forces of over 126 Gs. Enough to cause serious injury. On top of that, he's crushed beneath the weight of the 450-pound ATV. The experiments are conclusive. Being rider active is essential for ATV safety. Sometimes, though, you can do everything right and still run into trouble on the trail.
So our stunt demonstration was made up to show how easy it is to get into an ATV accident if you're careless while driving your ATV.
Yeah, and a lot of times people are driving safely and they are following the rules and accidents still happen.
On June 15, 2007, John Sloot of Castleguard, British Columbia, took his son Cody on a fishing trip into the backcountry for Cody's 10th birthday. At one point, the trail grew tricky.
It turned and went alongside a steep hill, which narrowed the trail some, but still wide enough for an ATV to cross without any trouble.
Cody, I'm gonna have you get off. John asks his son to get off the ATV, just in case he runs into trouble navigating the narrow trail. John inches along the path while Cody watches.
And as any ATVer knows, you lean uphill if you're going across it. That's what I was doing.
But in this case, John's precautions aren't enough. He is nearly crushed beneath the ATV as it tumbles downhill.
I just stood there with my mouth open for like 10 or 15 seconds before I realized what was happening.
Incredibly, John and Cody survived the ordeal.
Okay?
They were doing everything right, and given the amount of distance that he fell, the ATV rolled over the top of him, he could have died. And so, you know, it just went to prove that even though they were doing everything right and by the book, accidents happen and you just never know. So you got to be really careful when you're out there on your ATV.
That's right, and also you need to know your terrain.
You might wonder what the science of filming this sequence was. Our special effects wizards use green screen technology to film the actor and the tumbling ATV in separate camera takes. Then, combine them into one seamless shot.
Scene 18.
That takes a lot of time and energy, but it turned out great.
The magic of movie.
Treacherous hills, tight corners, and rough terrain. These are the dangers that an ATV rider can anticipate. But what about the hazards you can't see?
All right, Nick, for our next experiment, all I'm gonna say is this one is gonna hurt.
Yeah, this time we're gonna run our buddy here, Kojak, through a small neck strainer.
Just a small string wire.
This is more common than you think. Steel cables strung across dirt roads to discourage trespassers.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's ride. Oh God.
On impact, the wire rips Kojak from the ATV. The slam stick records a 194 G shock force. It's more than enough to break Kojak's back and do paralyzing damage to his spinal cord.
Whoops.
Wow, that looked like it hurt.
Yikes.
That looked like it really hurt.
That's no joke.
Oh.
Wire strung across a trail is every ATV rider's nightmare. When riding in country you're unfamiliar with, it's always a good idea to drive slowly or even inspect a trail on foot. Next up, Kojak goes out in a blaze of glory.
All right, roll off cameras.
It's time for the big finish. Nick and Laura have strapped Kojak into our remote control ATV, and he's ready for a wild ride.
All right, well, we've come to the final experiment of the day, and I'm gonna say we've saved the best for last because I don't think Kojak's gonna survive this.
Yeah, we've got a few different elements here. We've got speed, and we've got a sharp corner. So what we want to do is study just exactly what happens to Kojak as he goes off the edge.
Well, I'm guessing, considering he's not an active rider, he doesn't really know how to use his core muscles to balance. I mean, he's a little bit of a dummy, we've said that.
Yes.
So let's sail him over the cliff, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay.
For this experiment, they'll bring it all together. A tight corner, a steep embankment, and Kojak's trademark passive riding. With any luck, the ATV will crash spectacularly, giving Nick and Laura some critical slam stick data.
3, 2, 1.
We go! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo! Oh! Oh!
The experiment goes off without a hitch, resulting in some spectacular shots of the bone-crushing crash. Momentum easily topples the vehicle, whipping Kojak directly into the ground with incredible force. The slam sticks max out at over 200 Gs at the moment of impact. As the ATV rolls, Kojak is twisted, slammed, and crushed into the ground. It's another graphic reminder to watch your speed.
Woo! Oh! Oh! Wow.
You okay, little fella?
No, he's not.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
That was awesome.
Sweet!
This crash was exciting to watch, but the real message is that ATV riding is fun and perfectly safe if you follow those safety rules.
Well, that was a blast.
That was awesome.
It's totally awesome.
What did we all learn about taking our ATVs into the backcountry?
Well, I think it's about two things. One being respect and also awareness. So not only are they fun toys to drive, but they're also high-powered machines and tools.
Yeah, and we always respect our tools. I mean, you wouldn't go juggling chainsaws, would you, Laura?
Maybe.
Maybe you would, I don't know.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode, so join us next time as we put nature to the test on Survival Science. Nice job.
Good job, Kojak.
Good job, Kojak.
The black eye.
Yeah. Drop him.
Next, on Survival Science, Laura Schara and Nick Mundt put gravity in the driver's seat to see what happens when tree stands go wrong. Believe it or not, these stands are responsible for thousands of injuries every year.
Put his arm around me. It's my date.
Nick and Laura are going to use science
Are you sure this is going to catch me?
to find out where the dangers lie and what we can all do
Oh, dear.
to make sure that once you climb up, you don't come crashing back down.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Survival Science. You know, as hunters, there are a lot of hazards that we have to be aware of when we're hunting the backcountry.
That's true. We have dangerous animals, bad weather, and of course, sometimes there's even inexperienced hunters out there.
That's right, and one of the things we don't think about is the force of gravity. It's that elemental force of nature that when you fall, you go straight down.
Statistically, one of hunting's greatest perils is falling from tree stands. Of course, there's lots of benefits to using the tree stand, from better sight lines, you have protection, you're camouflaged, but they also pose some risks. Nearly half of all accidents that send hunters to the hospital every year involve falls from tree stands.
Since most tree stand accidents involve some kind of a fall, we're going to see what those forces have on the human body.
That's right. So to test this out, we have rigged a test dummy with sensors. We're going to drop him from different heights to measure the velocity and the force of every fall. So before we get started, I kind of feel like our friend here needs a name, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, he's a little light up top.
Just a little.
How about Kojak?
Kojak will work.
Yeah.
The question is now, are you ready to give him some CPR if he needs it?
I'm certified, so I'll give it a shot if I have to.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Put his arm around me. It's my date.
Cutting-edge sensing technology will record the data from the falls.
So this is our slam stick data logger. It's the device that's going to give you guys all the measurements you need for all the experiments you're going to run today. Ideally, all you're going to need to do is slap it onto your dummy, take the fall, and then you can analyze your recordings on our computer here through our software.
We need to put one on his head because that would be the most dangerous place to fall.
Yeah, and I know typically when people fall out of a tree stand, you're real top heavy, so you do tend to go head first.
Sure.
And then let's get one up front just in case of a forward fall.
Hello, hello.
Big Daddy.
This guy works out.
All right, Kojak, here
One,
we
two,
go.
three.
We've asked tree stand expert LJ Smith to help us get our stands installed.
Loop it in to where the excess is not blowing in the wind.
And he offered some surprising advice on the best way to avoid accidents.
Get the manufacturer's instructions out of the box, read those instructions, and follow them. Whatever they say do, that's what you do.
Read the instructions. Who's doing that anymore? Is that what the problem is?
Yes.
All right.
Our first test will be drops from 20 feet, a common height for tree stands.
All right, Nick, you ready for this?
Someone bring me a dummy.
He's taking the easy way up.
Yeah. That's what my teachers used to do, is grab me by the back of my neck.
It's probably because you deserved it.
Okay, Laura.
And I'm guessing it's not going to be pretty here.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Give me a countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Drop him. Ooh!
Oh, broken leg.
Broken leg.
Broken leg.
For sure. That's going to need some surgery to repair that.
From 20 feet, the test dummy took just 1.2 seconds to cover the distance. At impact, the slam sticks recorded an astonishing 24 Gs of shock. That's about twice the force generated by a knockout punch from a heavyweight boxer. What kind of effect would a fall like this have on the human body? If a person were to land on their side, the forces generated at impact would be enough to shatter the pelvis, break ribs, fracture the arms, and possibly crack the vertebrae in the spine. The injuries would be even worse if the hunter landed on their head. The bones of the cranium have an average thickness of 1/4 inch. And while that bone is hard, it takes just 15 pounds of pressure per square inch to fracture it.
So I think we've established that a fall from a 20-foot tree stand is going to be pretty gnarly.
Woo, you think?
Yeah.
Well, also it's safe to say the hunters should be wearing their safety harness at that height because I think we saw some broken bones there.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think that a fall from a 10-foot tree stand is going to be any less dangerous than a fall from a 20?
Well, what's interesting is a lot of hunters aren't wearing their safety harnesses at that height because they think it is safer, but I'm guessing it's not.
I would tend to agree with that.
Let's see what Kojak has to say about it. Okay,
do
let's
it.
go.
Okay, you ready down there?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's bring up Kojak.
Get nice and close.
Okay, Kojak. Time to stand on your own 2 feet.
Any last words, Kojak?
Nope, he's good.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Drop him.
Laura and Nick are dropping our test dummy from a 10-foot tree stand. to see how that compares to a 20-foot fall.
Okay, Kojak. Time to stand on your own 2 feet.
3, 2, 1, drop them.
That really did not look fun.
Data from the 10-foot drop reveals that it took just 0.8 seconds to fall 10 feet. In that time, the dummy accelerated to 17.3 miles per hour. When Kojak hit the ground, the slam sticks recorded nearly 12 Gs of shock. That's about twice the force of the tallest roller coaster. The speed at impact from 10 feet was 29% less than the speed from 20 feet. Even so, the force generated at impact could result in cracked leg bones, shattered ribs, broken vertebrae, and skull fractures.
The test is conclusive. There really is no safe height, so even a fall from the shortest tree stand can send you to the hospital.
And I think the takeaway from all this is that you have to climb smart. You have to always wear a safety harness and use the lifeline from the time you leave the ground till the time you get back, and it'll definitely keep you away from the effects of gravity, as you could see by our friend on the ground over there.
Yes, poor Kojak. Well, that brings us to our next question, and that is, how does the safety harness work, and how does it save us from gravity?
L.J. Smith is a renowned hunter safety expert, and he regularly investigates tree stand accidents.
I'm a retired hunter safety administrator from the state of Mississippi.
Okay.
Went to work there in 1979 and have been teaching hunter safety and tree stand safety ever since. And in the last 25 years, I have personally investigated over 450 tree stand accidents.
So what are some common accidents and injuries that we see with hunters and tree stand falls?
Anything from scrapes and bruises to broken legs to broken backs and necks and fatalities. The highest accident that I've ever personally investigated was 65 feet.
Oof, doesn't sound good at all.
Not good, no, not good.
This is what we call a 5-point safety harness. It connects both over your shoulders, under your legs, and it has a tether in the back that is a set length with Z-fold tearaways in the tether.
Yep.
So that when it falls, it rips these Z-folds out to reduce the weight that's put on the body to less than 1,800 pounds per square inch.
1,800 pounds of maximum arresting force is the magic number when bones start to break.
So it's kind of like a braking system almost.
It is like a braking system.
Nick and Laura are working with our stunt team to run a test to see how well these harness systems work. From the data, they'll be looking at how our stuntman, Solomon, decelerates through the fall and how much force the jolt from the harness generates through the descent.
All right, we're ready down here at the data station. Ready for the countdown? Man, a few words, but I think he's ready.
Solomon will simulate an all-too-common accident, falling asleep in a tree stand.
3, 2, 1, go!
When Kojak fell from 20 feet, he hit the ground traveling at over 24 miles per hour. With a harness, however, everything changed. The safety system eliminated any force of impact with the ground. The jolt from the harness can be very damaging, but the energy of the descent was absorbed by the extending tether instead of being transferred into the hunter's body. All told, the amount of force at work on Solomon stayed far below 1,800 pounds. Fortunately, most stands and harnesses are tested to be sure they meet industry standards recognized by the Tree Stand Manufacturers Association. Also, every tree stand purchase includes a safety video.
Are you ready to test one out?
Wait a minute, am I volunteering for this?
I think you're the one.
Laura has reluctantly volunteered to step off a tree stand.
I did mention I was afraid of heights, right?
No.
and trust the harness.
Okay, when you're ready, just slide your foot around on the side. Turn around sideways on the seat.
Okay.
Slide your other foot over.
Can I hang on to this? No.
No,
Can hang on to nothing. Oh, this is terrifying.
just ease over. Ease that foot over.
This is like talking someone into jumping, and it's not fun.
Laura discovers just how difficult it is to allow yourself to step off into space.
I don't want to do it. Ease over.
Yeah, just
Are you
ease
sure
over.
this is going to catch me?
I promise you, ease over and come on down.
There we go. Oh my God. Oh, this is terrifying.
Just ease over.
Laura is about to take one for the team and trust her own life to a Treestand safety harness.
There we go. How's the view, Nick?
That's fine. I just swing around. Just put one foot over.
Actually, it's easier said than done here. Easier said than done.
And the other.
Sure, the other foot, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, there we are.
No,
and my
the
hand's
harness,
stuck.
right?
My hand is stuck up.
Is it really?
Yes.
No.
Hang on. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
There we go.
There you go.
Nick, you can stop the laughing gallery over there.
Sorry.
Woo!
I'm not doing it on purpose, I swear.
Super comfortable, let me tell you.
You didn't come down very far.
I can't even let my hands go. Can I breathe? No.
While you're standing there, take both.
Standing, I'm floating.
While you're floating, go ahead and get back in the tree stand. Any way you can get back on the seat is legal,
How much time do I have?
as long as you need.
This is gonna be interesting, folks.
Catch the seat on the other side.
There you go.
Good.
There you go.
Woo!
There you go. Scary?
No, not at all.
I feel guilty for laughing.
You
but
should
it
a
was
little
kind
bit,
of
but I
funny.
mean, it's all right.
I was gonna say, those are some killer hunting boots.
Yeah, they're fashionable hunting boots.
Good job.
Well,
Okay.
how do you feel?
Much safer down
Was
here.
it scary? I
It
bet.
is very scary to step off the ledge. I would never climb up to a tree stand without one of these.
With hang-on and climbing tree stands, the biggest hazard comes during the transition from the stick ladder to the platform. But many accidents also arise from improper installation and maintenance of the stands.
LJ, I spend a lot of time in a tree, basically from the 1st of September all the way through till Christmas. And I noticed that the way these stands are set up here, they're not set up quite right.
Nick, the reason is to show the improper use of the way they're used. Otherwise, there's no need for survival science.
Yeah.
If a stand's properly set up every day, the harness is properly used, there's no accident to report.
What are some of the mistakes that actually cause the accidents?
People leaving them in the woods from one year to the next. Trees grow. The winter comes in, it freezes, then the heat comes, it expands and contracts. You get cracks and deterioration and rust, and the stands fail.
And not to mention the straps. You get dry rot, stuff like that. So if you've got a stand that's been up there for 2 years, the straps definitely can't be good, right?
That's correct. Your stand needs to be taken down and stored inside during the summer months.
There's a huge number of people that use ladder stands and they can't get into a hang-on. So what about ladder stands?
Yeah, Nick, about 70% of the stands sold today are ladder stands. And the things that we see where they're incorrectly put up now is people don't use all the products that come with it.
So you're going to show us the proper way to install a ladder stand today.
Well, we're actually going to show the improper way to install it.
Okay.
Even better.
Even better, yeah.
We're going to make an accident happen again so that we can see what happens if you don't install them properly.
Here we go.
Many hunters set up their ladder stand, fix some of the lower supports, then climb to install the top section, thinking the rig is stable enough to support their weight. But it's not. The mistake users make is placing that ladder at a position that is too vertical, making the entire structure unstable. Also, the slope of the ground, the lean, and even the width of the tree have to be considered. This all means that as the hunter climbs the ladder to the top, their weight can fold the ladder back onto itself, with deadly consequences. To drive this point home, we've put up a ladder stand incorrectly, and our trusty stuntman Solomon is going to try and climb it.
All right, we're getting ready for this fall.
Yeah.
Solomon doesn't need this big pad, does he?
Yeah, this is kind of cheating, Solomon.
In terms of the pad situation, Solomon, do you like where this is right now? Would you like to move it in?
I feel pretty good.
Is that
Yeah,
about right
I
for you?
think, yeah, if anything, maybe cheat that slightly that way. Perfect.
Between these steps right here, it will bend because it's fulcrumed here and it will have to be above there.
Yeah.
This is all due to the fact that we don't have the angle correct because the tree has a bend in it.
Correct, because
All right.
the tree leans and we did not put the crisscross straps on.
And this is in the wrong spot. The stabilizer bar is too low.
2 rungs too low.
Right.
I think we're all dialed in. How you feel, buddy?
I feel good.
You ready to fall?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So ready.
You guys can do the honors.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The question is Solomon ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're gonna count you down. All right, 3, 2, 1, climb it. Oh dear.
Come on, Solomon.
You've got this.
You can do it, Solomon.
Nick, Laura, and our stunt team are about to test the faulty installation of a ladder stand.
All right, 3, 2, 1, climb it. Oh dear.
Come on, Solomon.
You've got this.
You can do it, Solomon. Take inventory, no broken bones.
Nope, good.
Like LJ said in the beginning, you know, it's gonna bend. It broke on the backside, but it stayed together, so it didn't disconnect, which was good.
Not come loose, yeah.
When a ladder stand is properly installed, the system can easily support someone who weighs more than 400 pounds. An improperly installed stand may look completely stable, but in fact, even a 100-pound hunter can trigger a deadly fall.
You rode it out to the bottom. So when it starts to come, I think most people would bail before the thing actually gets to that. And so where most of your injuries are gonna come from is broken legs, you know, not being able to take that force of 15 or 18 feet hitting the ground.
Who knows what you're landing on, either
Yeah.
rocks, logs,
stumps, whatever might be there.
Yeah, a bear.
Another
Definitely gonna crack your head.
So what would a fall like this look like in real life? Now, we'll slide the pad aside and call on our stunt dummy, Kojak.
Everybody, you ready? Yeah. Okay, Laura, give us a
Here
countdown.
we go. 3, 2, 1. Drop them. Oh, Lord.
Look out!
Why are we laughing?
Oh, yeah.
That would hurt.
you okay?
That was more than hurt. I think that was fatality.
That really hurt. Serious, that was like a
But
really
you were really
hard
laughing.
jolt.
I mean, you were really laughing there.
Well, just because I know Kojak can take it.
The forces generated in this accident were enormous. The slam sticks recorded shock force of a bone-crunching 138 Gs. That's like an Indy car hitting a wall at over 100 miles per hour.
Wow, that was crazy. You could just feel the impact.
The heaviness.
Yeah, when
Look
it
at
hit the ground.
snapped this time.
Well, that about does it. What'd you think, Laura?
Well, I think we can walk away knowing 2 things. Number 1, always wear your safety harness because there is no safe distance to take a fall.
Right.
And 2, read your installation instructions, right? Watch that safety video because you don't want your hunt to end before it starts.
Well, that's a wrap for this show. Join us next week, right here, as we put nature to the test on Survival Science.
Let's go check out the demo.
Yeah.
All right.